Hello, and welcome back to another Overwatch Hero Guide. And today I'm covering one of the most popular champs and one of the best, heroes that you can possibly learn is Tracer. She has definitely the most depth in the game, I'd say. Definitely the most depth. Most solo carry potential. If you're good enough at Tracer, you are unstoppable. Like, you can just completely you can solo a game as Tracer, definitely. Because you are forced to deal with her. She can be anywhere she wants to be. She can do, like, anything she wants to do, backline, frontline DP. Like, she could just do anything she feels like because of her extremely high mobility and high damage and sustained damage. A pretty big thing on Tracer is surviving, because you have, some of the lowest HP in the game. You have 150 HP. So, and you're a short-ranged hero. You have to get into close proximity to be able to do most of your damage, because you have a lot of damage fall off. Like, at far range, you're not doing that much damage. At close range, that would have one-shotted him, So, you're going to want to know how to strafe with Tracer. And the thing that a lot of people do with Tracer is they like to crouch like this, crouch spam like that, and strafe back and forth. But I believe that hinders your aim too much when you do that. I mean, you can get used to aiming while doing this, but I feel that it's just not worth it, because tracking with Tracer is everything. You need to have your tracking on point to be able to have the most impact with your damage. You need to be able to track. So crouching it's just not very efficient. What I like to do with Tracer is I like to strafe with her by jumping upright and then coming back forward. I mean, this goes with, like, pretty much any hero. You can do this, but with her in particular, I just really like doing this. It just, like, bends her hitbox in a way that makes her somewhat hard to hit. And it's also very easy to aim while you're doing this. And then right there, I just did a different technique. Not many Tracers do this. A lot of Tracers are very predictable with their blinks. You don't want to be predictable ever with any hero in the game. A lot of Tracers like to shoot their full clip, reload, blink, right? Or shoot their clip and blink while they're reloading. That's you can expect that. If you're playing McCree or Hanzo or something that is high in precision, if they're a regular Tracer player, like not a special Tracer player at all, you know when exactly they're going to blink, right? You know that everyone is going to blink right after they reload. So you want to have mix-ups. What I love doing is shooting a clip, blinking into them, and blinking back through them, because that'll make them turn around, and then all of a sudden you're behind them again. And if you have good aim, that'll give you enough time to kill them, usually. So, fire a clip. I'm just going to miss them on purpose. It jukes them out. If they have decent reactions, they'll be like, oh shit, she's behind me. They'll turn around, and then you'll already be behind them again. Like, you don't want to do it too fast. You don't want to be like, you don't want to do it too fast. You want to give them a second to react. So you want to be like, I love doing that. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a really good strategy that you can implement. And another thing with if you want to purposely dodge things like Roadhog hook, McCree stun, you can do a similar thing to that and bait it out. So McCree's pretty much always fall for this. You can blink right into them, just being like, oh, I'm so stupid, and then just blink out immediately. I shouldn't have killed them, but blink in and then blink out like immediately. They will use their stun. Or you can even just blink in, then recall if you want, just to bait out their stun, and then you can go back in knowing that they have no stun up for whatever amount of time. I don't know, it's like 9 seconds or whatever, 8 seconds. I don't fucking know, but you want to bait out abilities like that, like Roadhog's hook too. You want to sort of trick them into thinking that maybe you have no blinks left, or that you're just very easy to hit. Like, for Roadhog's hook, you want to be, like, purposely moving in the same direction so that he'll be like, oh, look at that, it's such an easy hook. And then once you see it come out, you can just dodge it immediately. That's one of the things I like to do, is to act like you're moving predictably, and then when they throw out a skill shot, just dodge it with your other blink. And then you're free for the next whatever amount of time, 6 seconds or whatever on Roadhog's hook. You have that period of time where you can do a lot more. You can go a lot deeper into their team because they don't have that crucial ability to lock you down. One thing I like doing on Tracer that there's no reason not to do it if you're in range is to blink into someone, and then I don't know if you could hear that, but I actually meleeed right before I recalled. Like, you can cancel the animation of your melee with your recall. Like, there's just no reason not to do it, because you just completely cancel the animation, so you don't have to wait the entire time. So that's just something you should always be doing, because there's no reason not to do it. It just adds in extra damage into your burst every single time. And another thing I like to do is, I mean, this goes with pretty much every hero, but if you're reloading with Tracer, like, you reload a lot. Your clip is pretty short, so you're going to want to be getting behind cover whenever possible if you're reloading. Because in that time period, you cannot do anything. You can't pump out any damage while you're reloading, so there's no reason to expose yourself. And if there is no cover available, obviously you can blink, but if you have no blinks, no cover available, then just strafe around very just unpredictably if you can. Like I said earlier, you don't want to crouch spam, but if you're just reloading and you're completely vulnerable in that moment, then you can crouch spam. There's no reason not to. With Tracer's Pulse Bomb, I see a lot of people, when they go in as Tracer, they're like waiting, they're like trying to get a perfect Pulse Bomb. They're like, they're just like standing there doing nothing. Like, that makes it so obvious that you're trying to Pulse Bomb. If you're just standing there not shooting when your clip is clearly available, there's no reason to do that. If you're gonna Pulse Bomb, you're gonna need to do it immediately. Like, you never want to just be a sitting duck pumping out no damage. You just have no pressure doing that. And plus, if you're just sitting there not shooting, like, they know you're trying to Pulse Bomb, because when a Tracer blinks in, you always hear the sound of her shooting. And if she's not doing that, then, I mean, what else is she gonna do? She's gonna Pulse Bomb. That's the only other thing she can do. So you're never gonna want to just line up your Pulse Bomb perfectly. You just blink in, line it up perfectly. No. You just need to throw it in there. You just gotta throw it in there. And I mean, most people probably know this, but with your Pulse Bombs, it's pretty fucking hard to hit it on a 200 HP target, because it's just a really inconsistent ult. It just is. So to maximize your damage, you can pretty much always hit it on a Reinhardt, or always hit it, if they're playing Reinhardt, always hit it on a I was going to say Arisa, but then she could just do her damage reduction ability. I don't know. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that unless you know that ability's down. Then that would be good. And now I just want to kind of scroll through and just go over some matchups. I'm going to skip over Doomfist. I don't really know much about him, but Gengu. With Genji, most Genji players are very predictable with their deflect. If they're a normal Genji player, you know, anything under GM, they will be very predictable. If you blink in, they'll probably think that you're a predictable Tracer, and they'll deflect right when you blink in, right? Because you have no other options. You either blink in and then start shooting, blink in and just throw your Pulse Bomb immediately. But you are going to blink in and then just not shoot. You're just going to blink in and just strafe around and not shoot. And then he'll deflect and completely waste his defensive ability. And Genji, you do not want to go into very close range with him, because he can just instantly burst you pretty easily. McCree, I talked about him quite a bit. He is pretty shit against Tracer, in my opinion, because you can just bait out his stun easily, and you could stay out of his range of his stun, which is his only ability to lock you down. Fara, kind of an odd matchup. Obviously, she can stay out of your full damage range by flying very high in the air, but if she's very high in the air, then she pretty much can't hit you with rockets unless it's just complete luck. Reaper, again, you can stay out of his range with your high mobility, but if you do get into close contact with him, he can just fucking one-shot you very easily. So you're going to want to stay in mid-range for him. Soldier, the only thing you really need to do is just back off of him if he puts down his healing pad. If you know that he's about to put down his healing pad, you just want to back off of that. You're not going to win that battle. He is like so fucking hard to kill if you're just soloing him as Tracer. It's like near impossible to kill him while he has his healing pad up, trust me. And you're also going to want to look to dodge his helix. You're going to want to be consciously trying to dodge that, because he can just instantly kill you if he hits you directly with that. Sombra is very good against Tracer, because she can just completely disable your mobility. So if you're against the Sombra, you're going to want to keep tagging her so that she cannot hack you. Obviously with her ult, nothing you can do about that, but if she's just trying to manually hack you, you're definitely going to want to keeping her in combat so that she cannot do that. Bastion, very, very bad against Tracer. Terrible against Tracer, actually, because of your pulse bomb. You can just very easily pulse bomb him when he's in his fucking turret mode. Hanzo, this is a pretty even matchup. Because Hanzo, a decent Hanzo player can instantly delete you, because he can just hit you. He doesn't even need to headshot you. He can just hit you in the body and then melee attack you, and you're dead. It does the exact amount of damage. But at the same time, you can just out strafe him with your high mobility and make yourself very unpredictable. And if a Hanzo can't predict you, then he can't kill you. Junkrat, I really like going against Junkrat as Tracer normally, if it's not a really good Junkrat player, because his hitbox is just, it's a pretty easy hitbox to track for some reason, I've noticed. And if you don't go into very close range of him, he can't easily bomb you. You can just literally dodge his bombs. Mei is very good against Tracer. She can, for whatever reason, I don't know why this is a thing. I don't think she should be able to one-shot you with her fucking right click, but she can. And it fucking sucks. So you don't want to be fighting Mei's, because she could just one-shot you. Dumb Mei's will try to freeze you. Smart Mei's will just straight up try to right click you, because that's what it just pressures you a ton, because you know at any moment you could just get fucking one-shotted. But yeah, if she starts freezing you, you can just easily blink away from that. You should never ever be able to get fully frozen as Tracer. Torbjorn, Tracer is bad and good against him. Tracer is terrible against his turrets. Just like, she has such a hard time dealing with his turrets. But fighting Torbjorn himself, killing Torbjorn without his turret, is very easy with Tracer. He has a very easy hitbox to track. Widowmaker, Tracer is very good against Widowmaker. You can just get into very awkwardly close range of her. And although she is pretty skinny and pretty terrible hitbox to track, you should definitely win this fight. Diva, I mean, there's not really much she can do against you, not really much you can do against her. Fucking just tankiness. You don't really want to be focus firing her much at all, because there's just not much you can do against her. I mean, you could pulse bomb her mech, but I would only pulse bomb her mech if you know that it's gonna take her out of it. Arisa, just look when she uses her damage reduction ability, and you could very easily pulse bomb her and just eliminate her. Reinhardt, I love going against Reinhardt as Tracer. It's a secret counter that like no one thinks that Tracer counters Reinhardt, but I really do think he does, or she does, because most Reinhardts will have their shield up, 95% of the time. So he's just literally a standing target. He's literally bashing, except you can't one-shot him with your pulse bomb. But you can just always pulse bomb him. He's just so easy to pulse bomb. That's why I love going against him. Roadhog, you can just stay out of his range. So I like going against Roadhog. You just free farm off of him as Tracer. Very easy to dodge his hook. And yeah, it's definitely favorable for you. Winston, I think I mentioned earlier that you can out-kite him forever. He has extremely close range. You have extremely high mobility. You can just kite him forever. Zaria, just be wary of when her bubbles are on and off cooldown, because your pulse bomb is useless if it's on cooldown. Onna, she's a pretty tricky one. If she didn't use her grenade yet, she can be extremely hard to kill when her grenade is up. She's so tanky with it up. And although she shouldn't really be hitting her sleep dart on you very often, and you can literally react to that, her hitbox is just so hard to track. She has like one of the best hitboxes in terms of just not being easy to hit. Like, her hitbox is just so fucking hard. I don't know why. One of the hardest hitboxes to hit. Lucio, with his healing up, it feels as though you're doing no damage at all to him. It's the same thing as when Soldier has his healing pad down. You do like no damage to this guy, so I just try to avoid him normally. Not much you can do against him. Mercy, yes, you definitely want to be hunting down Mercy as much as you physically can, because you can just chase her around. She has very high mobility, so do you. You are made to be able to chase down Mercy. Moira, don't know much about her, so I won't really give much on her. Symetra, you're obviously extremely good against Symetra because you can easily track down her tellies and her shield gens. But if her shield gen is near impossible to kill, then Symetra is very good against you, because if everyone has a shield gen, you can't really assassinate anybody. So you really want to be focusing that. Zenyatta, I believe that you are quite good against Zenyatta. He has a very easy hitbox to track, and unless he's very good, he won't really be able to eliminate you before you eliminate him. So I think that about wraps it up. Tracer, she has like no fucking counters because you can just do almost anything with her. High mobility, high damage, you can just do whatever you want really if you're good enough. But it does take a lot of time and patience. Just remember that. If you feel like you're shit at Tracer, don't worry about it. Just put the time in and you will get good at her eventually. Okay, good luck guys.